When someone starts ignoring you, the natural reaction is to chase, overthink, and try harder to get their attention, but that often pushes them even further away. The truth is, attraction doesn't grow through pressure. It grows through space, self-respect, and emotional control. This topic is about understanding a powerful psychological shift that can change how people respond to you. Instead of seeking their attention, you learn how to pull your energy back, focus on yourself, and create a sense of absence that makes them notice you again. It's not about manipulation or playing games. It's about rebuilding your value, maintaining your dignity, and becoming emotionally independent. When you apply this technique correctly, the same person who once ignored you may start feeling your absence and craving your presence naturally. Pulling your energy back means consciously stopping the habit of chasing someone's attention and redirecting that focus toward yourself. When someone starts ignoring you, the natural reaction is to try harder, sending more messages, overthinking their behavior, and seeking clarity. But this often creates an imbalance where you are giving too much while receiving too little. When you constantly invest your time, emotions, and attention into someone who is not reciprocating, your value in their eyes can decrease. Not because you are less important, but because your presence becomes too available and predictable. Pulling your energy back helps break this pattern. This doesn't mean playing games or suddenly becoming cold. It means you stop over-investing where there is no equal effort. You reduce unnecessary communication, stop checking their activity, and avoid making them the center of your thoughts. Instead, you bring your focus back to your own life, your goals, routine, and personal growth. As you do this, two important changes happen. First, you regain control over your emotions. You are no longer reacting to their actions constantly. Your mood becomes more stable because your focus is no longer dependent on them. Second, your absence creates a shift. When someone is used to your constant attention and it suddenly reduces, they begin to notice it. This can spark curiosity and make them reflect on your value. Human psychology often appreciates what is no longer easily available. Most importantly, pulling your energy back rebuilds your self-respect. You stop chasing validation and start valuing your own time and presence. Pulling your energy back is about choosing yourself over emotional dependency. It helps you regain balance, rebuild confidence, and naturally shift the dynamic, where your presence becomes something that is felt, not forced. Mastering the power of absence means understanding that your constant presence is not always what creates value. Sometimes, it's your absence that does. When you are always available, always replying instantly, and always showing up without limits, your presence can start to feel routine. Over time, the other person may stop noticing your effort because it becomes expected. Absence, when used in a healthy and natural way, brings awareness. When you step back and are no longer constantly present, it creates space for the other person to feel the difference. They begin to notice what's missing: your attention, your energy, your presence. This emotional gap often leads to reflection and curiosity. From a psychological perspective, people tend to value what is not always accessible. When something becomes limited, its importance increases. This doesn't mean you should disappear completely or ignore someone without reason. It simply means you stop over-availability and allow natural space in the connection. Absence also helps you, not just the other person. When you are not constantly engaged with them, your mind gets time to relax and detach. You stop overthinking every small detail and begin to focus more on your own life. This creates emotional balance and reduces dependency. Another important benefit is clarity. When you create space, you can better understand the reality of the relationship. If the other person makes an effort to reach out, it shows interest. If they don't, it reveals the true dynamic. Either way, absence gives you a clearer picture. However, the key is balance. Too much absence can lead to disconnection, while too little can create dependency. Healthy absence is about giving space without losing respect or maturity. Mastering the power of absence makes your presence more meaningful. It shifts the dynamic from being taken for granted to being valued, while also helping you regain your emotional independence and inner peace. Building quiet self-worth means developing a strong sense of value within yourself, without needing to prove it to anyone or seek constant validation. It's quiet because it doesn't rely on attention, approval, or external recognition. Instead, it comes from how you see yourself and how you treat your own time, emotions, and boundaries. When someone ignores you, it often triggers insecurity. You may start questioning your worth, wondering what you did wrong, or trying harder to gain their attention. This reaction usually comes from low or unstable self-worth, where your value feels dependent on how others treat you. Quiet self-worth changes this completely. You begin to understand that someone's behavior is a reflection of them, not a measure of your value. Instead of chasing their attention, you stay grounded. You don't feel the need to prove yourself or beg for recognition because you already know your worth. This mindset reflects in your actions. You stop over-explaining, over-texting, or over-giving. You give your time and energy where it is respected, and you step back where it is not. This natural shift creates a sense of dignity and self-respect. Another important aspect is emotional stability. When your self-worth is strong, you don't get easily shaken by someone's distance or inconsistency. You remain calm, focused, and in control of your reactions. This emotional balance is highly attractive because it shows strength and maturity. Quiet self-worth also builds a certain presence. You don't need to be loud or attention-seeking to be noticed. Your calm confidence, your boundaries, and your self-respect speak for you. Building quiet self-worth means becoming secure within yourself. You stop depending on others to feel valuable and start carrying that value from within. And that is what naturally shifts how people see and treat you. Becoming emotionally unavailable in a healthy way does not mean becoming cold, rude, or completely distant. It means you stop giving unlimited emotional access to someone who is not valuing or respecting your presence. You protect your feelings instead of placing them entirely in someone else's hands. When you are emotionally too available, you tend to respond instantly, share everything, and invest deeply even when the other person is not doing the same. This creates imbalance. The more available you are, the easier it becomes for the other person to take your attention for granted. Over time, your effort feels less special because it's always there. Healthy emotional unavailability means creating boundaries around your emotions. You don't react to every message, you don't open up too quickly, and you don't prioritize someone who is inconsistent. Instead, you take your time. You observe their behavior and match their level of effort rather than overgiving. This approach helps you stay emotionally protected. You are no longer easily affected by their mood, attention, or absence. You create a sense of control where your feelings are not constantly dependent on your actions. Another important aspect is self-respect. When you are not easily available, it shows that your time and emotions are valuable. People tend to respect what is not easily accessible. This doesn't mean playing games, it means naturally having your own life, priorities, and emotional limits. It also builds curiosity. When you are not fully open all the time, people start wondering more about you. This adds a subtle sense of mystery, which increases attraction. Healthy emotional unavailability is about balance. You still care, but you don't lose yourself. You give, but not at the cost of your peace. This shift makes your presence more valued while keeping your emotional well-being protected. Letting your growth create attraction means focusing so deeply on improving yourself that your transformation naturally draws people toward you. Instead of trying to get someone's attention through messages, efforts, or explanations, you shift your energy toward becoming a better, stronger, and more confident version of yourself. When someone ignores you, the usual reaction is to chase or prove your worth. But real attraction doesn't come from effort, it comes from value. And value is built through growth. When you work on your mindset skills, health, and lifestyle, your overall personality begins to change. You become more confident, more focused, and more emotionally stable. This kind of growth reflects in everything: your communication, your body language, your decisions, and your presence. People notice when you are evolving, even if you are not directly trying to show it. Your energy becomes different, and that difference naturally creates curiosity. Another important aspect is independence. When you are focused on your own growth, you are no longer waiting for someone's attention. You are building your own life. This removes emotional pressure from the situation and makes you appear more self-sufficient and grounded. Growth also builds self-respect. You start valuing your time and energy more, which changes how you allow others to treat you. You no longer tolerate behavior that makes you feel small or unimportant. The most powerful part is that your growth benefits you regardless of the outcome. Whether the other person comes back or not, you become stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled. In short, when you let your growth create attraction, you stop chasing people and start building yourself. And when you truly level up, people don't just notice you, they feel the difference. And that's what makes them gravitate toward you naturally.